It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. When anger rises, think of the consequences. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve and bad things are very easy to get. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. Better a diamond with a flow than a pebble without. The cautious seldom err. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people. Never be friend with a man that is not better than thyself. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. If I am walking with 2 other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick out the good points of the one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other and correct them in myself. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. Study the past if you would divine the future. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the 3 universally recognized moral qualities of men. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? And what is there to fear? To see what is right and not to do it is want of courage or of principle. Ability will never catch up with the demand for it. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Real knowledge don't know the extent of one's ignorance. I hear, I know we see, I remember I do, I understand. To know what you know and what you do not know. That is true knowledge. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action plan. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. Heaven means to be one with God. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. You cannot open a book without learning something. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. The object of the superior man is truth. If we don't know life, how can we know death? They must often change. Who would be constant in happiness or wisdom? The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Death and life have their determined appointments. Riches and honors depend upon heaven. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. I am not one who was born in the possession of knowledge. I am one who is fond of antiquity and earnest in seeking it there. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. The faults of a superior person are like the sun and moon. They have their faults, and everyone sees them. They change, and everyone looks up to them. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. Look at the means which a man employs. Consider his motives. Observe his pleasures. Tame man simply cannot conceal himself. The firm, the enduring, the simple, and the modest are near to virtue. Go before the people with your example, and be laborious in their affairs. When we see persons of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see persons of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. Virtue is not left to stand alone. He who practices it will have neighbors. When you are laboring for others, let it be with the same zeal, as if it were for yourself. He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. Speak the truth. Do not yield to anger. Give. If thou art asked for little, by these 3 steps thou wilt go near the gods. The book salesman should be honored because he brings to our attention, as a rule, the very books we need most and neglect most. To those whose talents are above mediocrity, the highest subjects may be announced. To those who are below mediocrity, the highest subjects may not be announced. He who acts with a constant view to his own advantage will be much murmured against.